Welcome to the Relish Lifestyle podcast. We're sat here. It's the first day of British summertime. The clocks have gone forward. We've lost an hour in bed. And I've got a cold. So that's good, isn't it?
You know, it's amazing, I think, that you come out of winter and you think, heading towards spring. And you think, I'm going to feel much better. And the amount of people that I've talked to who just don't feel great or have not been well. And even for me, my skin, it's kind of really weird.
Yeah,
like
I think that is
this
generally
whole
the
transition. Yeah.
Anyway, woken
Anyway.
up.
Fighting on.
I am. So sorry if I'm a bit snuffly, but it's been a good week in terms of food. There's been a lot going on, so that's good.
Oh, yes.
And we've had Mother's Day and all sorts.
Oh, and that was delicious. Thank you, my darling son.
You're welcome.
And we had one of my favourites.
And what did we have?
We had cocoa sling and that homemade French bread.
I have to say that homemade French bread is a winner.
It is a true winner.
Eat a lot of that bread. And
we had one of your other hero recipes that you do, and that was tarte tatin.
We did, and chocolate.
We absolutely went for it, didn't we?
I did them all.
But I would like just to add that the chocolate pots, you always keep those quite small, but it's that delicious one, isn't it? With
olive oil.
Olive oil.
But it's espresso cup size.
Yeah,
is a good few teaspoons of mousse.
Anyway, I was very spoiled. We had a banquet, and I had gifts of my lovely gifts, darling.
It was lovely.
Yeah, it was really lovely.
It was. It's gone quickly this month. I feel we're clattering through it, but
it's kind of like one of those, like you said, I think, in one of our other podcasts, that after Christmas, it felt like this year everything we have back. Suddenly, it was like Valentine's Day, Pancake Day, Mother's Day. This, it was like,
maybe
we
that's
got Easter.
Why we're just all feeling a bit Jamie did.
Suddenly we hit the new year and it's all
there's
like,
another event on.
Yeah, maybe. I do think it's a funny transition. I don't think it's the same as when you hunker down.
No.
I think when you come out, and there's been some really
out of hibernation.
Yeah, it's like, I know we've been doing our work, which is about a little bit of the bush, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting how they say that really we are the only species that don't hunker down. We get to winter, we keep thinking, we've got to push on and we've got to do this.
We force ourselves to stay up and all that kind of
stuff. Well, and also I think in January when we kind of think, we've got to hit the gym and we've got to do this, well, it's actually every other species takes the winter to reset, regroup,
disappear.
Let your body rest and just gather itself.
Well, I always think it's like bears disappear, birds fly somewhere warm, and I feel like maybe we should take a leaf out of their books.
Well, if you're very lucky to do that.
No, but I just think maybe it's just humans. We need to learn from that.
Well, bears don't. They just hibernate. They go to a hole underground.
They wake up after 9 months of whatever. Anyway. But but no, we're here. It's spring, and that's the main thing. The flowers are looking good, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot to go for.
Yeah,
But food-wise, we've got a few things. Well, I had my judging last week, so that was
great taste.
Great taste.
So go on then, tell all. All that you can. I know.
Yeah, no, it was a really good day. Always is brilliant. Obviously, I do general judging, so it's you don't know what you're going to taste, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Literally turn up and, I've had everything from chocolate to steak to ice cream to bacon to macarons, all sorts on that day.
Wow.
So probably tasted sort of between 60 and 70 products.
That's incredible.
I know.
How do you keep your taste bud? Is it because you're tasting so many different things?
I think, this is one of the things that I was talking about. And I think I've seen it on television programs and things where when people do things like a wine tasting, by the kind of the 30th wine, your palate, your lips are puckered because you've had so much.
Yeah.
Well, no, and not drinking loads of it, obviously.
Because most of it you spit it out.
But I think the human, unless you are like a super taster, as I think we call them, don't they?
Right. Yeah, I think you're right.
You can't, the human brain can't compute the differences, I would say, the nuances of the flavour and all that kind of stuff. If you are trying, hundreds of different bottles of wine, like they're doing these big Bordeaux tastings, and it's hundreds of chateaux.
Yeah.
I don't know how someone can sit there and say, that Chateau Lafite was very different from the Margaux because of this and this. I know I've probably I'm not an expert at Bordeaux wine. I'm not going to pretend like, I know there's different regions and areas across the river and all that kind of stuff. It's all very serious. But I don't know. Yeah, for me, I think it's because you've got the variety when I do it. So you are, obviously there's things like honeys and chutneys and, even ready meals, things like that you get given. So you're not, and you've got, you've got water and stuff. But sometimes you do think, oh, actually, let's not just go from one honey to another. Let's have something in between.
Yeah.
That's different, especially if it's spicy or something like that.
I know this sounds really weird, but stop for lunch because you can't spit it out like they do in wine tasting.
No.
You have actually got to swallow a tiny bit of it.
You can. Yeah, there have been a couple of occasions where I have actually spat it out.
Oh, so you are able to do that?
Yeah, if you wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to do that back in the day when I worked for a sandwich manufacturer, and obviously you can't eat all that carb all the time.
No.
So you did have spit outs. You sort of chew the sandwich, which sounds horrible, and then you'd spit it out.
Yeah, no, I get that. I do get
actually,
that, though.
by the end of the day, you'd be so full.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And fat. And there's only so many prawn mayonnaises you can eat. But yeah, so no, it's a really good day. Great people, always a friendly bunch. So yeah, I had some amazing product. I mean, obviously, as we know, there's a lot of effort goes into
huge.
MPD launching anything in food or beauty or any of those industries. There's a lot goes into that before product reaches a shelf.
Can you just explain, Charlie? Because I know you see, I mean, somebody said to me, oh, I've seen those labels, but I didn't really understand what they were. And I think it's probably the one label, in terms of food awards, that it's probably the most, what's the word?
Stand out.
Yeah, and authentic.
Yeah.
Because it's unbiased, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all blind. Don't know who it is.
Because there's so many things, having obviously worked in the beauty industry, there's a lot of awards get given out. And to be honest, it's not always about the best product. It's about who's spent the most in advertising.
Yeah. I mean, I've done things like that in food. Sometimes it's just that particular retailer that year needs to win.
Yeah.
But no, with this, it's all truly blind. And obviously it's done, when you're tasting a product, it then goes to other tables as well to be, scored and verified. So it's not down to you saying, yes, it's a 2-star. It then you could score it whatever you like, and then it goes to another table, they score it, then another table, they score it, and then obviously it's all kind of worked out. But yeah, very thorough, lots of different things, lots of brilliant products.
Any 3 stars? I know you can't say who, or you don't know who.
I don't know who.
But any 3 stars? Was it Bell?
No, I don't think there was this year. Not on the day I did. Obviously, that would have been on other days.
Yeah.
But, we had some 2 stars, or certain things that I thought were worthy of 2 star.
Yeah.
It's when you are at that level, each star is obviously amazing to even get. Well, any award is amazing to get, but it's obviously then being constructive, saying, if to get from a 2-star to a 3-star, you could do this.
Right. Okay. So they get feedback, brands that. Right. Okay. That's interesting.
So
interesting. And also, I'd just like to clarify because you some products you might see more than one Great Taste Award label on there because they are done by year.
Yeah.
Every product sent in, I believe, they do pay to have their products tested.
I think it's on like an incremental scale, so I think it depends on the size of the business.
Yeah, which is fair enough, I think, because you do get some really, really
artisan,
very small independents.
Yeah,
but it is incredible, I think, and the fact that this is held over quite a few days, isn't it, in the spring?
It runs 4 days a week from sort of, I think, end of Feb into first week of June.
I mean, it's extraordinary.
I think it's something like 18,000 products.
Oh, that's incredible.
I need to check that figure, but I think it's a lot. It's between like 14 or 18,000, something like that.
That is incredible. So you think that, I'd like to know, but I know that 3-star, any star, there's not like thousands given out.
No, it's like a percentage. I think probably only like probably less than 2% would get a 3-star.
Yeah, so it just goes to show the quality of the product.
Yeah, but also what I think is brilliant is obviously like showcasing how much is going on in the food industry.
Yeah.
And it's not just obviously British food.
No.
You can send in product from across. We've actually, one of the honeys that actually I think it did get a 2 or 3-star a couple of years ago. Hopefully when we go to Greece, we're going to visit them.
Oh, yes, exciting.
They're a honey manufacturer in the Pelion region of mainland Greece, or Pelion. And that I'm not a honey person. Be honest. I can. It's lovely sometimes, but I don't want it every day.
No.
But this was the most, I've used the word unctuous, caramelly. It was like a honey I've never tasted before.
Wow. Oh, good. I'm excited.
So so that'll be really nice. And obviously they use it on there. You can also then use the sticker or the award on your product.
Yeah. But what
your
also,
artwork, I should
yeah, exactly. But what I was going to say is you might see that a product received, a star or a Great Taste Award, and it might say 2020 or something.
Yeah.
So, it's not saying, but you just got to bear in mind that sometimes products do change their structure or their ingredients. So just to bear that in mind. But, it's quite interesting that some products do it every so many years, and it's interesting how they still retain a star or they improve their star rating.
Agreed.
But that's incredible. I think it's brilliant, and I do know that since we've talked about it, people look out for those star awards.
I know,
and I do think it's worth doing. Yeah.
As a foodie, and it's not all high end products in terms of expensiveness.
No.
But I think it's a good symbol of, okay, well, if I buy that product, it's got a star or it's got an award.
Also, you think that
hopefully it'll be good.
Yes. Also, I think it's about the quality.
Yeah.
Rather than how much.
And obviously, everyone that's judging is a foodie, and whether they're in the industry or whether they're chefs, cooks, consultants, all that kind of stuff. So, people we know hopefully what we're doing.
Yeah.
But no, it's a really good day.
I think
it's a privilege to do, and I think it's again, like I said, I think it just shows how much is going on within the food industry, which is, especially at the moment, it's a positive thing in this world.
Yeah, no, I think it is. And I think it's positive. What we're really saying is these awards can't be bought.
No.
So it is truly on the quality.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
And the standard of those products. So you haven't got the big brands could just buy their way in. And I think that to me is really,
and
it's
important. Actually really interesting who actually it's really kind of going for. I would say like Aldi is quite interesting when I've been in there. Some of their, I think it's specially selected, which is their like top tier. Quite a lot of their products they showcase their star. I think even some oats I bought in Aldi Organic, something oats, they had a star on them.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that obviously some supermarket, I think it's interesting.
Do you take it seriously?
Well, it's interesting that Aldi is. I'm not suggesting others aren't, but I haven't seen them as prolific in Tesco, Sainsbury's, wherever. The only time you see it maybe in Sainsbury's and Tesco is if it's a branded product.
Yeah, not theirs. Yeah.
No. Whereas Aldi, it's obviously, you don't really get brands, so it's on there. I think it was even like a steak and ale pie had a star. I saw the other day.
So it's interesting.
It's really,
So, it's about the quality, isn't it?
But I think it also shows the dynamism of like the British retail, like what consumers are looking at. And it's just quite interesting. Aldi have gone for that.
Yeah.
Especially in their top tier.
I'll go one more thing then on the Great Taste, because I do think it's a great thing. And we've touched on it before, but we don't not really talk hugely about it. But I just wondered, for all the things, all the 60, 70 products that you tasted the other day, I'm going to ask you, I mean, was there one or two that you really tasted that you thought that was sublime?
I mean,
I know you didn't give any 3 stars, but in terms of, you just thought, oh, that's a great product.
I mean, I can't be specific, but there was some nice chocolate that came through, some quite innovative chocolate came through, and it was a really lovely mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Really nice. And there was some meat product, I'm being quite vague, that was using not a heritage, what you call it? Like a rare breed animal. And the product was absolutely, it was delicious.
Oh, excellent.
So there's a lot of that coming through.
Yeah.
Which is nice to see as well. And obviously, like we said before, it's important that we, support farms that are
totally
either rare breeds or making dairy products that are different.
Well, I think it's wonderful, because if things are cared for, it doesn't matter if you're manufacturing them or if they are like field to fork type things or, animals or whatever. But the care that's gone in to looking after, or, creating them, you get the flavour at the end. And it's all, again, the quality and the flavour is so important. Because I think for a long time, we've lost all that. So the Great Taste Awards is really helping, I think, promote that and getting people involved. Because then if it is on supermarket shelves, you might see it and you think, do you know what, I might pay for that and try it, and then you'll see the difference.
I think that's exactly what happened.
To some of the stuff that's out there that's over processed, and
or I might just
not that tasty.
Either spend a tiny bit more money or whatever it might be, on something that tastes hopefully 100 better than something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. But no, it's brilliant. But actually, interesting enough, what you said about the sort of the quality and taking time and care, something quite interesting, because that sort of is one of the other topics we want to sort of look at, was this sort of panic people have in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, I think
we were saying.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that came into. I read something about it, and I know that we've all had it. You know, we've all been in the kitchen. You're cooking and you panic, or you've got people coming round, and you, depending on who they are, they might be people you don't know necessarily, or whatever. Or you've suddenly got a lot to do, and you feel you haven't got a lot of time. But I just read a couple of things. It's actually what they're calling kitchen anxiety. I know there's a lot of stuff about anxiety at the moment, about all sorts of things. But I think this is something that is just a genuine thing. And so that, I think, is possibly why people have kind of opted for easy meals and things, which is a shame.
So is there a word that describes this?
Oh yes, I knew you'd ask me that. Yeah, there is a term. Now, I'm really going to apologise to everybody because I do not think I've pronounced this correctly, but it's something like magirocophobia. Did you say that? Magirocophobia. Yeah. Okay.
Let's just call it fear of cooking.
Yeah. Anyways, and anyways, a lot of people avoid cooking, and I think some of the other things is, you worry you're going to get it wrong. Am I just going to waste those ingredients if I get it wrong? I mean, as I say, you might be cooking for other people, so obviously that puts pressure on you to get it right because you want it to be beautiful. And I think it's like a lot of things now. You watch so much across social media, and everyone's.
I was going to say that.
All looks perfect. You see these videos, and I'm telling you, it's not all like that. So much of this stuff, it's not. It's also, can I just say, I watch a lot of those videos because they pop up, of course. But some of it I look at and I think, I wouldn't even eat that. Well, I think
what worries me, I think, with some things that I've seen, not all things, is we can't all cook like that because we don't have professional kitchens.
No, exactly.
All that kind of stuff. The other thing is, some of these recipes, they say, with these 3 ingredients, you can make that. And I watch it, I think, there's no way with those 3 ingredients you're going to come out with anything that's edible.
No, exactly. Or flavoursome or whatever.
And anyway, so I think going back to what we were saying about like care and quality, I think there's an element there that actually, if you've got good ingredients and you've got time and you put the care and effort into it, I would say you're 70% of the way there.
Yeah, and I think, this is a good thing to talk about because we're coming up to Easter. So a lot of people, a bit like Christmas,
they're
the big times where they may be cooking big family meals and things, or catching up with friends and stuff. But I think it's a shame if people, because I know the stats, basically a lot of people probably aren't cooking in the same way as they used to. I think people, as you say, Charlie, don't have what they think they need in a kitchen. And maybe some kitchens are smaller. I mean, and obviously it's the pressure of time for a lot of people. But we know that keep it simple. I think to take the anxiety out of it is to say, don't feel judged, have a go.
No.
Take a deep breath, because I actually think cooking can be therapeutic. So rather than feeling frazzled by it, worried by it, actually think of it as something to enjoy.
I also think there's just ways around it in terms of like staggering what you're doing.
Yes,
so like when I was doing Mother's Day, I kind of got up, I'm not gonna lie, I was in my dressing gown, making a coffee, and I did all my peeling.
Yeah.
So I did the potatoes, obviously carrot, all the veg. I did the apples, the tartatan. Obviously, just go in some water, put that in the fridge.
Yeah.
Veggies go in a bowl or a bag, whatever. They can even sit on your draining board. They're not going to go funny.
No, I agree.
And the potatoes, I just did and put them in the pan with the water over the top with the salt in. So they're ready to go.
Yeah.
So then I felt kind of like, well, actually, within sort of 20 minutes, half an hour, I actually boxed off quite a lot of what I would call the more tedious, boring part of preparing a meal.
Yeah.
And if you can't find sort of 20 minutes to do that, then I think that's actually quite sad, because I think it's quite a nice thing to do.
I mean, I
It's
agree.
not stressful, is it? You're just peeling something.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm with you. I think definitely, I would say, first of all, keep it simple and just try and chill out.
Yeah, you
try
don't
and
need,
enjoy it.
like we said at Christmas, you don't need 19 vegetables.
No, you don't. You don't.
2 or 3 max.
No, I agree.
Calm down.
And there's a couple of, I think, yeah, absolutely what you've said. So I think if you've got something where you need elements chopped or whatever, you can easily do those, even in stages. You've got onions to chop.
Yeah.
Just do them when you can. Pop them in a bag, pop them in the fridge. As long as you cover them,
yeah,
they'll be fine.
But that's why I did all mine. So, but actually, if I do all my chopping and peeling, all that goes in the bit, like peel.
And you cleared the decks.
Cleared that. So then I have the almost messiest part of the meal is done.
Yeah.
And I don't have to think, oh, now I've got to sit here peeling.
And actually, Charlie, that's a really good point, because I think one of the big things in a commercial kitchen, if you see any professional chefs, is clean down, keep tidy.
That's what I
because they have very small amounts of space. So if you've got a small kitchen, we've got small kitchens. We've had bigger kitchens, small kitchens, doesn't matter. Just keep it tidy. Do something, clean it down. Do something.
But also, what I would say is, if you do if you think about professional kitchens, they do their veg prep.
Yeah, all
their
before.
Meat prep.
All before.
They do it like that. They don't do, I've got to try and peel a potato, rub oil into my pork rack, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. They try and stagger what they're doing.
I know.
Also hygiene.
And that's another good point. So if you are we're coming up to Easter. So I was thinking, if you are doing your leg of lamb or whatever you're doing, even if it's a veg dish, if something needs marinating, just do it. Do that bit. You can wash your hands, and you're absolutely right, Charlie. Pop it in the fridge. If you don't have a big fridge, if you haven't got a lot of space, make sure you've covered it. But as long as your kitchen or wherever you've left it is not boiling, actually a lot of meat, and if you're doing something with big vegetables, they don't want to be really cold when you cook them.
I mean, obviously, again, cover it. But, a joint of any meat, leg of lamb, it should be out of the fridge for at least 20 minutes.
Oh, easily. You should be room temperature.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
ahead of time. But there's a few things, and I know because you said to me, these are the things that you learn, because it's the things that I do. So when I've got a big meal to do, if, for instance, I'm roasting potatoes, I will boil those potatoes and cook them, drain them, and then just keep them drained, even just covered in a colander, or just keep them in the saucepan, and just wait until you're ready to roast them. They will sit quite happily.
Agreed.
If I'm doing cream potato or any what I call mash, so if you're doing a root mash, like carrot and swede or anything like that, definitely I cook it in advance. And particularly if you're doing cream potato, because you want that to be beautiful and creamy. So if you're using a rice, or you really want to mash it, give it a bit of time and love. Again, cover it, put it in a bowl. Do you know what? That you can stir in a bit of melted butter or a bit of yogurt, whatever you're doing, just before. You can warm it in the microwave, or you can put a pan over a pan of simmering water, or even a pan over that might be cooking your carrots or something.
I was going to say, but I think
warm it through.
If you do it for a minute or something in the microwave, you've sorted that.
Yeah.
If we're talking about taking stress out.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I think things like, this was one of yours, wasn't it, Charlie? Meat can be rested. So
I think everyone panics and it all has to be hot and literally roasting as it's served.
Chickens, legs of lamb, even small pieces
20
of
minutes,
meat.
half an hour.
I mean, a small, tiny piece of meat. Cook it.
Of steak.
Make sure it's soft. Minutes. Wrap it in foil.
Yeah.
Just leave it somewhere. It will sit there for an hour, frankly. Do not panic about that.
I would say there's just I have my sort of panic. It's not really a panic, so I obviously can do it. I'm not anxious about it, but I try and almost get my gravy done.
Yeah.
Because it's doing the roux part or whatever, and then doing the stock. Once I've kind of got that smooth and it's fine, I kind of I just leave it. And then I think, I'll add all my flavors and the juices.
Yeah.
And then re-warm it ready for when we're actually going to eat it. But I think it's just, that's the sort of thing I want to just get boxed off, done.
Yeah.
And then it can just sit there.
And also, I was going to say, we're talking about it if you're sort of doing roast, okay, or that kind of,
It's because we love a roast.
Because we do. Right. And also Easter, a lot of it's left. But even if you were doing something spicy or, anything like that, it's the same thing. Make your rubs early. Get the rub on whatever it is, your meat or your vegetable. Get it marinated. If you're making chutneys, if you're doing more like Indian cuisine, that kind of thing. If you're doing, you need salsas. If you need flavored yogurts, labnehs, all that kind of stuff. Just do all that before.
Yeah.
Pop it in the fridge, keep it covered, and then you're sort of done.
But actually, and also I would say another tip when we do it is if it's not a roast and it's more like a casserole or like a chili or anything like that, you can make it the day before.
Yeah, yeah.
As long as it's hot all the way through, whatever you're doing, it'll be fine.
Yeah. So I think we should all be brave. I think just keep it simple. Oh, I'm going to do one.
Just don't complicate it unnecessarily.
But I think for those people who probably really do get anxious about cooking, but the other thing I think, even if you were cooking just for yourself, right, for 2 people or something, you know what? It's something I learned when I was sort of doing cooking as, I had to do some exams and stuff. But part of it, and you watch any chef, they always write a time plan.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't have to be a professional time plan. Piece of paper, all you need is pencil and paper. But have a think, and someone said this to me, Tracy, how do you know what to do first?
Yeah.
Well, it's because I've been doing it a long time. But if you think about it, it is instinctive. But what you've got to think about is those recipes that you found. Just have a little thing about what's going to take the longest to do.
Or what you can prepare ahead of time.
Yeah.
And so they're not all a rush to get done.
No. But I think it's like if you know something, you're doing, say, a leg of lamb and you're going to want to slow roast it, a shawarma or whatever. It's going to take 4 or 5 hours. You do that. Just think that's how long that's going to take. That goes at the top of your list. Get that and in the oven or in the pot.
And do you know what? Something like a cleftico, if you are having a leg of lamb at Christmas, Easter even. You've done that.
I did that
already.
I know I did that earlier.
Got to be round too.
First day of summer, and we're talking about Christmas.
Yeah. I would say something like a cleftico, if you haven't done a big roast or a big meal for lots of people, it's a very simple, flavoursome way of actually sorting out the meat and most of the veg in one pot.
Yeah.
So you haven't got to do all this separate stuff. It's all done in one thing.
Yeah.
So that would, if I was an anxious cook, I would say, well, that's a good flavourful meal. The other thing I was going to add is, we said about taste. I think, just go with what you like as well. I think there's an element that people feel like they're going to try something and they're not sure if they're going to like it. I'm like, well, actually, you're not going to like it. Chances are the recipe or how you cook it's not going to work.
That's true, actually. That's a very good point.
Like if you're not into it. I mean, I'll be honest, like there's been days where I thought, oh, I want to bake or do something different. And then I think, am I actually in the right frame of mind to do this?
Yeah.
Because it's not going to turn out right.
No. And I would say, so if you've got people coming round and you're feeling a bit stressed and or you're going to be time poor, then please either choose something that you cooked before or, as you've just said, Charlie, just cook something that's simple, maybe that just goes in the oven.
Yeah.
Another tip I've got, if you need sides, pak choy,
some broccoli,
peas, broccoli. I was going to say leaf spinach. Oh my gosh, they're so easy. Pop them in a bag, or even keep them in the bag. Obviously, make sure they're washed. Stick them in the microwave. I'm not kidding you. Some of those take a minute.
Some of those bags of spinach can go into the microwave.
Yeah, they're
do. Designed to do that.
But that makes a great, I like little side if you want to make it. Because I was thinking about, if you are trying to
easy as well.
If you do want it to look lovely, keep it simple. But maybe sometimes it's the little finishing things. So those tips can all be done very last minute.
Also, if you want to put like herbs on top,
I was just going to say that.
Right, okay,
yeah. Because there's lots of things.
You can chop those ages ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So I always wanted to laugh because I know I'm not the only one, but the times that you do chop your garnish, when you serve it, and then you after dessert, you're packing up, washing up rather.
Think, why is there some parsley on the side?
Yeah. Right, okay. So, but that is a good tip. Have something chopped to sprinkle on the top of it. It's fried chili, fried garlic.
Well, even if you did like the cleftico or something, just have some fresh oregano to sprinkle on at the end. Just adds that. It elevates it visually.
And I do think, Charlie, with a lot of that sort of like Greek or Middle East food, a flavoured yogurt that's got chilies running through it.
And that's really easy to do.
Or, I mean, that's
even just
really
lemon.
Easy. Yeah.
Or a bit of tahini. Did you say that? Sorry if you said that.
But there's lots of things you can do, I think. So anyway.
But the other thing I was going to say about the cooking thing, just going back to the tasting element, is taste it as you're going.
Yeah.
I know that's harder to do with a roast, but I would say always try and be a bit bold with the seasoning.
Yeah, and taste your gravies.
Yeah. But what I mean is for this is like going kitchen anxiety, like, yes, you can oversalt, and actually oversalting is the one thing you can't undo in cookery.
No.
But, salt, I think for a long time, I mean, probably pre me, like, being on this planet, there was a lot of anti-salt movement, like low sodium.
No, salt's good.
But we all need salt. I mean, there's a balance, but a lot of things need salt. Like I can't eat a steak without salt because I don't feel like there's, it does help with the flavour.
Oh gosh.
We said about egg.
Yeah.
Like if I have a boiled egg, my little treat is I sprinkle a tiny bit of like sea salt into the egg.
Yeah, but I was going to say, if you watch anything, particularly like I've just been watching the MasterChef.
Oh yeah.
Finals, but if you watch any of those programs or any with a top chef, if they're tasting something, I bet you one of the most common things is they've under-seasoned.
Yeah.
Under-seasoning.
Well, I think people are nervous of it, and I do understand why, but
just do it bit by bit until you feel.
Yeah, you can taste the seasoning.
Yeah, just don't be overcautious.
Yeah, everything needs a bit of seasoning.
So I think simple. Come on, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Get in that kitchen. Think of the chopping and the prepping as therapeutic. Think about it a bit in advance. And I would say, even in a little scrap of paper, if you are trying to be brave and show off a little bit in the kitchen and push yourself a bit, tick it off. Just think, that's a little job I need to do first. Then that job, then that. And it's so useful.
Who doesn't like crossing through a job that you've done?
I do it. If I was doing a big meal, if I had people coming around, I would have a job list.
Right.
I would. And you watch any chef, they do it.
Your whiteboard next on the.
Of course, when you get really, they do a little picture of where all the food goes on the plate. No.
Yeah, well, don't do that. That is anxiety.
No, that is anxiety.
I just think also, like, we obviously do it, but there's a lot on social media that makes out, you can do things and it's all going to look wonderful. Or, even like, I have to say, like Great British Bake Off. If you watch them the first series, it's like, make a Victoria sponge. Well, now, it's like, can we have a Viennese, whatever,
with matcha
and a
pistachio and something else,
mirror cake or something. And I'm like, first week. So I do think there's a level.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it's all about balancing it. But I think, this goes back to what Relish Lifestyle is, which is, good, simple, quality, enjoy it. Don't let it. Food should be enjoyable.
And also, if you can get to grips with just a few recipes and make them really good, people will come around, like Charlie, your tart tatin, right? It's absolutely fantastic, right? It's beautiful. You've absolutely nailed that. But you've honed that to get it so you know it. I mean, I just think, and like you just said about a Victoria sponge, the best cake in the world is a home-baked Victoria sponge. Get that right. As you say, before you try anything too complicated.
I think there is an element of that. But also I worry sometimes that you see these recipes online and whatever, which is great. And it is good and it, challenges us and we look at it and think, okay, I'll give that a go. But I think actually if you need to have some of those basic skills to be able to then do something that's really complicated.
Yeah.
So don't feel like this anxiety that you've got to make this triple tiered mirrored cake for friends and family.
No.
If you can't do a simple sponge, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, just do a simple sponge.
Yeah.
I mean, how lovely is that?
I have to say, I do like a lemon curd sponge.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the lemon
curd.
And
also cake, it just makes a great dessert as well. Like if you're having to do a dessert.
But also, I think the other thing, going back to sort of simplifying things, is, if you are worried about like cooking times, obviously we've talked about this before, but things like chicken, if you wanted to, you could spatchcock a chicken and then that reduces your cooking time quite considerably. Yeah,
because we think that could be quite a good substitute. Over Easter, a spatchcock I can't even say it now. Spatchcocked chicken, but as you just said, it cuts down your cooking time.
I think obviously the scary element is obviously the actual spatchcocking of your chicken, if I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah.
So obviously what you do is you basically turn your chicken upside down and you will feel the sort of backbone of the chicken. And basically you need to cut or cut or chop the backbone out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got you can flatten your chicken. I mean, some people just push down and
I was going to say, sometimes you can just push it down, can't you? Yeah.
I quite like taking that bit out actually, because I mean, it sounds quite easy to do, but actually pushing down and cracking it back is not always that helpful sometimes. And actually taking that bit out, there's no meat or you don't lose anything by that.
Okay, Charlie. So I'm going to suggest that we take a video of you doing that.
Yeah.
That'd be really good. We'll get it up on our YouTube.
To sharpen my knives.
Yeah,
and also that's another way of, I would say, it's quite an impressive thing to do if you want something simple. And it doesn't have to be piri piri. It could be any flavour. But it is, you make a few scores once you've done the spatchcocking of the chicken into the sort of, cut little thick, not deep cuts, but just cuts into the meat and the flesh. And then you could put anything on that.
Yeah.
You could do a harissa rub, you could do piri piri, you could just do lemon and parsley and garlic if you wanted. But
thyme and lemon. I mean, there's so many. Tarragon is a great one. Tarragon and lemon. It's delicious.
I can't seem to get enough tarragon.
So I just want to also, just on this whole food and Easter and stuff, just to talk about an ingredient that I absolutely adore, and this makes a great garnish, but you can cook with it as well. And that's watercress. I thought I'd just give it a big shout.
Yeah.
Because we get it and it grows pretty abundantly around the South Coast. But it is absolutely delicious. I absolutely love it. I mean, you can have it in a sandwich, you can have it with a salad, you can chop it, put it in a soup.
Fact for you, the largest watercress beds, I think, in Europe or possibly the world are in Hampshire.
Oh, I knew we have got a lot of watercress beds in Hampshire. Yeah. Amazing. And of course, it is something that grows wild.
Yeah. So it's quite difficult to manufacture.
Because it has to have that running water, doesn't it?
Constant flow.
Yeah.
It's like wasabi.
Oh, that's right.
It needs a constant, but I mean, it's a bit more delicate wasabi, actually.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I think they're growing that in Hampshire. Some places that have done watercress, I think, do
But if you've got that spring flow, that's perfect. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was just, I interrupted.
No, because it used to be on a walk we saw on the Isle of Wight. They used to walk over this little
watercress beds.
And there was wild watercress.
Yum.
I went to forage for.
It's a lovely flavour.
Excuse me, but it's incredibly nutritious. Apparently, it's one of the most nutrient dense.
I was going to say, is it like a superfood? I'm sure I saw that.
Yeah. It's got a lovely peppery taste, and I love it when you get it in freshly picked. You get it in some farm shops. You can buy it in supermarkets. I mean, a fun fact as well. Okay. So it's thousands, it's been used for thousands of years. So the Romans were using it, the Greeks were using it, and medicinal as well as eating it. But it was only first commercially cultivated at the turn of the 19th century by a guy called William Bradbury. And it became a staple called poor man's bread, which is kind of odd, a Victorian snack. But get this, of course, it was transported to London, Charlie. Here we go.
From Hampshire.
On the watercress line.
Oh. Which is obviously, we should say, is a heritage steam.
Yeah. Isn't that lovely?
It's really nice.
Oh, that's so sweet. I like that.
I guess like lots of these things, the words originate from what their probably purpose was a very long time ago.
Because actually, you're right. So it had to get from Hampshire to Covent Garden.
London.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was quite sweet. But all I wanted to also say that watercress, and just talking about Easter and cooking, watercress makes a great, like if you are serving something, it could be a lasagna, it could be roast lamb, it could be slow cooked lamb, chicken, anything. Oh, I'm telling you, a nice handful of watercress with your meat or whatever it is, or even other vegetables laid near it.
Even like in a sandwich, elevator sandwich.
Yeah. I think it's a great, I just wanted to give it a shout.
Yeah.
I just think it's a great
and it's
ingredient to use.
So springy.
It does feel very spring, but I eat it all year round. I love that.
Blimey. They turn into some water.
It's just so great. It's just an easy one to elevate.
Oh, well, there we go. Well, we've definitely, the spring has sprung in the Relish Lifestyle camp, so that's good.
Yeah.
But as always, thank you very much for listening. We're on TikTok and Instagram. We'll be doing some cooking and videos over the Easter period. We've got 4 days of Easter, basically, haven't we, coming up, which is great. So
get in the kitchen.
Get in. start peeling now.
We need to inspire you. It's peeling now.
Just don't get your meat out today. That might be a bit keen. Yeah, and actually I haven't sniffed too much, so all right.
No, you haven't
I've held it together, clinging to the wreckage. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed listening. Please follow us, like I said, TikTok and Instagram. And
oh God, I thought the roof was going to come off then.
The
it's
wind
so summer-like outside.
It's so getting windy. But on that note, leaves just us to say, keep relishing life.